All right, welcome to another show of Unshakable Live. It's a blessing to be here with you today and to come into your homes. And today we're going to be talking about drugs. Do you do drugs? It's a serious question. Do your kids do drugs? Drugs. You know what I realize is that sometimes this issue of drug addiction is really perpetuated by parents. What I mean is every time you feel depressed or something's wrong, sometimes parents can just give drugs that are not prescribed by the doctor to fix the problem. So I'm finding in talking to youth that they see no problem with doing drugs to fix the problem. If you're feeling bad, why not do drugs? So what's your views on drugs? You know what I'm saying? And another issue I want to raise today, when marijuana becomes legalized, which it looks like it may, in some counties and some states, they're working towards that aggressively, and we know that now there's more people getting fake doctors' prescriptions for the use of marijuana. But when it does, will it be okay to smoke marijuana? Just like alcohol at one point was illegal during the Prohibition, and then after the Prohibition was banned, or it was changed, the law, alcohol became very prevalent. Not to say that drinking alcohol is wrong in and of itself. So hartsuma c'était marijuana legal alane gernant budzacher. It's a really good question if you think about it. And does God have a problem with it? Especially if someone does it recreationally and they're not addicted. So, because I talk to young people and they bring these arguments up that God created the plant, so why can't we smoke it? And maybe today you're a weed smoker. You're someone who likes to, puff on the Indo and the chronic and all that kind of stuff. And you have a problem with religion telling you that smoking weed is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you're a businessman or businesswoman and you and your husband and wife smoke marijuana on the weekends. Maybe you have no problem with it, or do a little speed here and there to kind of give you a little jolt and a boost. So today I have my friend Naira. She's going to be talking to me about these issues of drugs and her experience, and I'm going to ask her views today on what she thinks about these issues. And if you're a Christian, I like to hear what you have to say. If you're one of those people that says, hey, God says it's wrong, back it up. Okay. If you feel that it's wrong, on what moral basis? Because this is where the culture is going with moral relativism. That is, just because you say it's wrong doesn't mean it's wrong for me. And if it is wrong, then how can you prove it? And sometimes people are stuck on stupid to say, well, it'll mess your life up. Well, mom, dad, pastor, badbeli, is kide martine vor letsum tram gushinen, bizdiknerunin and danikunin, or they're participators of society, but they smoke weed. So your argument that it messes your life up isn't proven. So again, I like to challenge you with the question today: is smoking marijuana or doing any drugs that become legalized, if heroin one day becomes legalized, as it is in certain parts of Europe, or the use of drugs, will it then be wrong, or will it be okay because the laws of the land endorse it? So that's a question I want to ask. Naira, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you, Jack?
Good. God bless you. God bless you. So, I mean, what a way to get into this conversation of drugs, because I'm finding, and as I'm talking to certain young people, that they are not convinced that smoking marijuana is wrong, and they're not convinced on the argument that it'll mess your life up, because they know functional drug users. What would be your response as someone who's in the field, runs a rehab center, and is a believer in God, is a God-fearer, you've rehab. For
me to answer to that question, I gotta go back in history a little bit.
Okay.
legislatures who at the time were marijuana users, probably long time, about 60, 70, 80 years ago,
Okay.
they think that there is nothing wrong with marijuana, some of them.
Yeah.
Because at the time, marijuana was very natural,
Okay.
and that THC element in marijuana that gives a pleasure
Okay.
was only 10 to 15% in the whole component.
Okay.
The picture since then has been changed a lot.
Okay.
Now they're getting it artificial way,
Uh-huh.
and that THC is 75 to 80%.
Okay.
Imagine how much damage it can do to the person. There are legal marijuana clinics right now who give prescription marijuana to those who really needs it. Like if someone permanently injured his back and he needs that for everyday activities. If someone has a cancer, if someone has in condition that for him to survive, he has to use it. Those people can use it. But if young people are saying, okay, we are going to do marijuana, it's not a big deal, it is a big deal. It is illegal drug for them, and it is affecting them mentally very hard, that they don't even know.
But what if they get a prescription? I mean, do they? I mean, is the thing that's wrong is they're lying about the fact
Probably
that
they're lying about it. If they have a prescription, and for example, if they're coming to the church and you see that they have a prescription, I would suggest you to call the doctor and ask the doctor where did they get that prescription from, and if they need it. If they don't need it, then obviously there is something wrong. Sometimes what they do, they're buying it from people who really needs it. For example, I need it. I went to the prescription, marijuana clinic. I got it for myself. But then for some reason, I know I can make money on that, and I'm calling to my doctor again, and I'm telling you know what? The prescription that I got, I lost it. I need to get refill, for example. They're giving me refill. I'm going back, getting another portion of marijuana, and what I'm doing with the one that I supposedly lost, I'm selling it to youngsters. Okay, that's how the problem is getting accumulated. And besides that, right now they found an easy way under certain chemicals to make marijuana grow very fast, like in 10-15 days. Out of seeds, they can grow whole plant.
Wow.
And they can use it. In that artificial marijuana, 80% is THC, and that is hitting you mentally. Subconsciously, you think that it's okay, but it is not, because it is bringing big chemical imbalance in your brain. And in order for you to feel that imbalance, you have to use it over and over and over, and that's how you are getting addicted. And if you are addict personality, then you are going to be hooked up to that marijuana without even knowing it.
What if they don't get addicted? What if, there's some people watching this today saying, well, I can smoke marijuana and not be addicted, what about them? I mean, I do it once a week.
Let me tell you this. Most people, before they have been affected like really hard, or they're having some problems with the court and any other physical problems, they think that they are cured, they have no problems, using once a week, it's not a big deal. They are just users. Users and addicts are two different things. Okay, but people, whoever is starting, they're starting as a user. Okay, but when they see that in one point, even once a week, they cannot go without it. Okay, but they have to do it once a week. Then that means they're addicted already. Because regular users, they don't have to do it once a week. They can do one time within 1 month, once a week. Then after that, they can do it once a month. Sometimes they do it once in 6 months, occasionally during parties and stuff like that. But if the person has to do it at least once a week, then he certainly became addicted already.
How about if marijuana becomes legal? Should and say the THC balance stays low? I mean, this is a hard question. A lot of people aren't even asking this question. Is it right for Christians to engage in this? Someone who says that they're Christian, they have a biblical worldview, they believe that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior.
I don't think is it right for anyone to get engaged to that, especially Christians. Because I don't think, like, if it was right, then God probably would not say, don't drink, don't mess up to your life. Okay? Drinking is one way of saying it, but at the same time, doing drugs is the same thing, only you are doing it differently. It is wrong. No matter from what angle you look at that, it is wrong. And I don't think in any church, either it's Christian or Muslim or any other churches, they will tell you, okay, go ahead and use marijuana. It is legally.
Well, there's a lot of churches and Christians who believe that drinking a little wine is okay, and with a meal, as long as you don't get drunk and you don't get intoxicated.
Yes, little wine, they mean probably, for example, like little, even half a cup. But little shot.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with that occasionally when you are having christening. When you go to the church, even pastor gives you little wine when you go to baptize your child or something. That is happening, but that has different explanation.
Okay.
That's not
different
the same.
motives. Okay.
Different motives and different explanation. Now I'm sure there is some verse in Bible that is talking exactly about that.
Yeah.
So I mean, we all are human.
Yeah.
I know humans have way of messing it up, but how they're gonna come back to the point that they can get back to their lives after messing it up? That's the whole point.
Now, maybe today you're out there watching this show and you have a different opinion about smoking weed or even the use of alcohol or drugs. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're someone who smoked weed. Call us. We want to hear what you got to say. What kind of questions do you got for Naira or for even for me? I'm not an expert in alcohol and drug treatment, but I have kind of a theological background, so I can maybe answer some of your questions or issues with God. My question is, are people who smoke marijuana, are they really progressing into worse drugs, or is that a myth?
Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not.
Okay.
Depends what kind of pleasure they are getting from that particular drug.
Okay.
Different people have different choice in drugs.
Okay.
There are some people that even from first usage of marijuana, they can have mental retardation. I have seen those, trust me, and it's not the good picture.
Wow.
There are some of them that they can use it 7, 8, 10 years, and they won't see any problems. But when you see that person, when you talk to that person, like especially us, the services like us, we can see the issue. We can see that this person is slow. Yeah. This person is not mentally as...
Are marijuana smokers really stupid?
Yes, they're going slow. I cannot say that they're stupid, but
I mean stupid in the sense that their processing system is...
Their mentality is not growing as fast as it's supposed to. Wow. Like, for example, if you've seen someone who is 21-year-old and did marijuana since he was 15... Okay. I would say that this person, his mental state is like in 17 and a half. He's not growing faster. Well,
let me ask you a question. Today, if you're watching the show and you smoke marijuana, my question to you is your processing system working slower? Are you, I mean, be real, are you genuinely kind of stupid? Like in a sense of the way you think? You know, are you kind of slow? I don't know. I mean, the marijuana smokers I've seen, they just can't keep up intellectually. Their processing system, it's like they still got like you know, I don't know, an old, not even a Pentium processor, you know, and some people got like, you know, 2 gigabyte, you know,
like big mainframe computers.
Exactly.
Remember, like about like 1965s. They had those big mainframe computers that they were very slow to do one project. It takes them like about a day or so. Marijuana users are exactly like that.
So call us in today. If you're one of those slow thinking marijuana users, we want to hear how fast you speak on the telephone. Let's pick up this line. Welcome to Unshakable Live. Who are we speaking to?
Yes, Jack. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, no problem.
As always, thank you.
Let me put the volume up here a little bit. Hold on, real quick, my man. Hold on. Let me just put the volume up. Here we go. Go ahead, speak now.
Yeah, thank you again very much
for
doing a great service for youth, not just Armenians in specific, but all the kids out there who are experimenting, who are. I wish they can wake up and this term about recreation. You know what? I don't believe that. I don't believe in recreation drugs. Drugs, they will come over and they will take over your body. Your mind and body, they're all connected. This recreation thing, I hear about it. I hear from 15-year-old, 16-year-old, and they tell me, well, I control the drug doesn't control me. But they are so wrong, because this addiction begins with the low class of drugs, and then goes up. It goes up until you've lost control and all your life has been ruined, your health. Any drug is going to cause so much damage to the body. They need to wake up and don't tell me it doesn't harm you. I mean, beside the emotional side, beside the physical side, have you seen, years from now,
have you seen, do you know anyone, I mean, because sometimes, you know, there's some young people watching the show right now, and they're just like, you're just a bunch of crap. Do you know anyone personally who you've seen the process of drug abuse in their life, and who, without giving us their names and stuff, like what is the story you've seen through their life?
I can tell you, it's so apparent. I know this kid. I've known him since he was 20. He is 30 now, and he started with the recreation. He started with marijuana. He started with hashish.
Wow.
He thought it's harmless, but today he is a heroin user. He's a cocaine user.
Wow.
It's going to go up. It's going to go up in the ladder of the class of drugs, and eventually it's going to take over you, and it's going just like the devil. This is the devil's work.
It already took over him.
This is what he wants to do. The devil wants you to. Yeah, he talks about the pleasure, how it's going to feel good, but eventually, long term, you are going to see darkness, and that's it for you. Your family is suffering with you, your kids. It pretty much, it's over for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, bro.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. Wow. That's real. You think about, and it's funny. Like he said, it's over for you, and you said something while he was talking, like it's already taken over you. Can we even say that the drug addict is even a you anymore? Is it really them? Because what's your opinion on that?
It's not them.
Yeah.
Because drug changes you totally. Okay. From what we see, drug itself is only 20% of problem.
Yeah.
But usage of drug constantly brings to the point that you cannot imagine your life without it anymore.
Yeah.
And your reaction, even if you are walking, you think, okay, if I don't have any drug in my system, I cannot even walk through that door.
Yeah.
I cannot even go to work.
Okay.
I cannot function.
Yeah.
I cannot even sleep. That's how drug becomes your lovely body part.
Wow.
Okay? The body part that you cannot imagine your life without.
Wow.
And that is very sad.
What I don't understand is, with all the knowledge and say no to drugs and all the constant talk about drugs, why is drug use increasing? Is it one of those things where you tell someone don't touch the cookie and they want the cookie more? Should we stop talking about say no to drugs and just, some people say, man, just let those people do drugs, let them die. Should we just have that view and just, you know what? Let the kids who are going to do drugs, the men who are going to do drugs and out there and kill themselves, let them just kill themselves.
No, that's not right, because drug addiction is sickness and any other sickness. By saying that...
Some people feel like that's a soft view.
No, it's a sickness.
Maybe it's a moral choice.
No, it's a sickness.
Okay.
I can tell that it's a sickness. The way that you are telling us, if we stop talking about it, that means we have to stop to talk about HIV. We have to stop talking about...
But HIV, come on, it's like a whole different issue.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Because with drug
the
use, the person, say a baby gets HIV because the mom...
Let me tell you this.
Yeah. I'm just asking questions
I
here.
understand what you are asking me. Person who's on HIV, he has to wake up every day in his life thinking that he has an HIV and get through the day with HIV.
Okay.
So with the same thought, whoever is drug addict, but they're trying to control their drugs, every morning they have to wake up and they have to go through the day knowing that they are drug addict, but they are gonna take that whole day without using any drugs. That's the whole concept of facilities like us.
Yeah.
We are trying to make them to control their addiction.
Yeah.
We are not curing them.
Yeah.
That is uncurable.
Well, that isn't the problem. Okay, first of all, in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10, the Bible says, let no one be found among you who sacrifices his son or daughter in the fire. Okay, there was that type of worship amongst Baal and Asherah worship, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, engages in witchcraft, or casts spells, or is a medium or spiritist, or who consults the dead. Okay, who asks the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. And because of these detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. You must be blameless before your Lord or God. So we know this idea of witchcraft in the Bible. They would give them potions and drugs, okay,
Yes.
to let them see these different illusions and different things. Now my question is that God said just kill the sorcerers who were in a sense drug dealers.
Yes.
My question is, who's bringing the drugs into the streets of Glendale, Burbank, LA? Because I know it isn't some black guy who because first of all they don't even know how to plant stuff, let alone I know it ain't the Armenian kid. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to. They probably have learned how to do speed eventually, but they're sure not doing it in their apartment because you can smell it and so on and so forth. So who's bringing in the drugs? Is it a certain race? Is it a certain kind of people?
No.
Is it the government? Because my question is, if we deal with the source, if a pool gets dirty, but it's coming through a dirty pipe, if we close the pipe, then the pool won't get dirty.
That's the whole point. They cannot close the pipe. Like with the same thought, can you close the border so illegal immigrants won't come to this country?
We can, but we don't want to.
Exactly.
We don't. The government does not want to.
We don't want to go there, Jeff.
Who's going to wash the dishes?
That is a big deal. That is a big deal, and we don't want to be involved in politicians because in one way they are trying to stop it. That's why they are talking about it this much. But in the other way, that's a big source for them to make money.
Yeah.
And they are letting that illegal, sources to bring it in.
Yeah.
We cannot tell black people are bringing it or Armenians or anybody. It's much more than that, and anybody can sell the drugs. To be honest with you, all
anyone can sell drugs on the streets.
Yes,
but someone has to bring it to the borders.
That's it's kind of chain of command.
If you have like a, that's what I'm trying to say. If you have like a black guy, he's coming in with his gold jewelry, he's walking in through the border. The police are gonna be like, yo, let me see under your car. You know what I'm saying? They pull if they see an Armenian guy like. And he's like, yo, this guy, obviously, what's he doing in Mexico?
Exactly.
Coming in his nice Mercedes.
Okay.
So then my question is, yes, understand we need to deal with drug prevention. We got to deal with the sickness issue. But what about this advocacy against the people who are bringing it? And what do we do when they get caught? How come we just don't kill them?
You know what? Because
capital punishment.
Because of the system, how the system works. They cut them, and they are innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
So what they do, they get out with help
money.
with the lawyers and everything. You know, at the end they are proven innocent, and they're going in their ways. And we don't even see the picture, whole picture.
But is that a fight that we should be involved in too?
Yes,
that people like you should be involved in?
Yes, it is. But the thing is that in one point when you go upper to that level, there is like this big wall that to break it. Either you have to be very smart, so in a way they won't kill you.
Yeah.
Or you have to just stay away to say, okay, you know what? I claim up to this point. From this point on, I'm powerless.
Well, make a think for high mega, yete drugs dachen amoten. On the streets, there's SOBs, sons of I won't say the name. So there is that amot ideal in Armenian culture, but yet I'm hearing more and more stories of young Armenian men selling drugs to Armenians.
Yes.
What's going on with that? What's going on with the Armenian culture that's tolerating it? Like we have parents, Mama Bamanergan, vor kiden vor irens beziklernin drugs zahengor. Իրենց բզիկներին hostage արածին իրենց դունի մեջը։ Ես մեկ ընդան կիդեմ որ կիդեն իրենց մամաբանի կիդեն որ drugs zahengor։ Բայց իրենց բզիկներուն չեն գվախնան։
That's why they call it dysfunctional family.
But what's
there
up with that?
There is no help with them. To me, in this kind of families, what we need to do, we need to go to, to the, I don't know, police department or something, and tell them that we have seen this.
Yeah.
In this family, we've seen this. But to come to that point, you have to have so much evidence against them.
Yeah.
So it won't break in the court. So it will held in the court. You can charge them for that activities, whatever they are doing.
Yeah.
But it is very hard, to be honest with you, because first their son, whoever is selling drugs, he's not going to say, you know what, my parents knew about it and they were tolerating it. They are not going to say that.
Because there's this thing on the streets, okay? Especially in hip-hop culture, a lot of rappers will talk about how the police forces, because hip-hop comes out of the ghetto, urban New York and Detroit, Chicago, South Central, and their thing is that the white police, and I'm not making any racist comments here, I'm just telling you a sociological fact, that this is how a set of people think, okay? Mainly Latinos, mainly blacks. They think that the police deliberately don't do anything so that other races and minorities can self-destruct through the usage of drugs. It's sort of it's a new form of slavery, you know?
It may be true.
And I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm just asking a question. Do you hear that a lot, that the police could do more?
But they're not doing it.
But they don't do it.
Yeah.
They play games. They play games.
And besides, let's look at the facts. Let's say Armenian families. Police caught like Armenian guy, and at the same time he got some Hispanic guy or some black guy.
Yeah.
Mostly they're gonna take to jail. Let's see who Armenian. You know why?
Why?
Because they know that Armenian parents are gonna run to the jail, are gonna bail them out.
Okay.
Are gonna spend all that court money for them. Okay.
Whoa,
to get the kid out.
I hadn't even thought about that.
To get the kid out. Whereas like lots of Hispanic families, and I'm talking from my experience. I'm not trying to discriminate
No,
anybody.
this is just, you're just talking street language, street facts.
Street language, and also I have seen that in the court.
Yeah.
We also go to the court and we take those kids out from the court under our custody. So I have seen that. Another person who is like from Mexican family, and the police, by looking at that boy, already knows that their parents are not going to come after him.
Yeah.
They're not even bothering.
And they don't want to have to pay the taxes, especially with the way the LA County Jail is.
It's like lost cost for them, you know.
Well, you know, I just don't want anyone to get freaked out and think that we're trying to make racist comments here. We're just talking about actual things that are happening on the streets.
Yes.
And sometimes I said this to some of my leaders today. I had a meeting with them. I said, Christians, people who go to church, Armenian Christians, the average Armenian Christian is so blinded by reality.
Yes.
That it's almost it's stupid. Like someone could be dying right in front of them, and they'll be like, "Oh, we got to go to we need to go to church."
Yeah.
We are so blinded by what's happening in front of us. You know, you ask yourself, you know, how did the Holocaust happen? How did the genocide? You know how it happened? When good people watched evil happening and did nothing.
Yeah.
They watched the young Armenian girls doing drugs.
And they're not doing anything.
And they're not doing anything. But you're trying to do something. And then they sit there and they criticize from the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, there's an epidemic in Glendale.
Yes, big epidemic.
And see, forget the statistics. You know, right now the city of Glendale is doing all this research. They did it. In fact, it's in the Glendale Press. I'll read the article to you. Okay, this gets good here. Okay, it was in the Glendale Press, which Glendale Press. I love you guys, but man, we need more investigative journalism. Stop giving us surface, short articles, okay?
From another newspaper.
Yeah, from other newspapers. Do some real journalism, investigative journalism. I'm tired of them talking about someone got murdered, but they don't tell us who did it. Do more research, okay? Because, hey, if I die, please, Glendale Press, do not investigate my death. I want a real journalist to investigate my death if someone murders me, who can find out some facts, okay? I'm not trying to dog you out. I love you guys, but you guys are about advertisers and not seeking out the truth. That's a whole different story. Don't get mad at me now. Okay, look at this survey. It shows students' alcohol use. It says results indicate that students may not see alcohol as harmful as drugs. They do hold marijuana harmful. Okay, okay. And I can just see them. Can you see them?
I know.
Johnny, do you think that marijuana... Johnny has a zigzag in his pocket. He's like, no, I think marijuana is harmful.
Exactly.
Johnny is not going to tell you that he smokes... They ask kids, you know, do you smoke marijuana? Do you drink beer? Do you do alcohol? And it says like something like, of the 1,490 Glendale 5th graders questioned, 36%, 536 of them said they have used alcohol at least once in their lifetime. At least once. Come on now. They do it at every Armenian wedding and reception. They do it at every party.
Parties.
Come on. Armenians are alcohol drinkers and they start early.
Yes, they do.
Even in our church, it's part of our culture.
Come on now, they do that at school hours, at school breaks. That's small vodkas and stuff.
They bring it inside the little things.
Shots. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Look, higher than 24% state average. Okay, so basically in Glendale, it says higher than 24% state average. That is, in Glendale, 5th graders have drank more than the average state average. Okay, 64% of Glendale 5th graders perceive alcohol as very bad, whereas 78% of their peers statewide said the same. It says, I believe the perception in younger children is that they do not believe alcohol.
Do you want to continue that, Jack? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, wake up. Armenian community has to wake up.
Well, see, what
5th graders are using drugs. Come on now. It's not only about alcohol.
Yeah.
Trust me, I have seen girls, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, using marijuana, using crystal meth, using heroin. Come on, we have to wake up. This is very serious.
Well, if you ask them in a survey, they're not going to tell you. But what I recommend is, why don't you go and just hang out with them?
Yeah.
I want to see a city council member just hang out. But of course, they're not going to be honest with you because they know you're a city council member. Why don't you put on like a wig, get dressed in like normal clothes?
They do that in state agencies. But
state agencies, of course, but not the city of Glendale.
Yeah.
Because the city of Glendale is about business, pro-business. Okay, because they did another research. Now, this is I'm touching on some things here. They did another research on what are the two most important things that the people in the city of Glendale are concerned about. They asked 1,000 residents. Out of the 1,000, they said they're concerned about two things: the way the streets are, traffic, and housing costs. Okay, the reality is that we're not even addressing the issue of rent, housing. Armenian parents, Latino parents, people having to work like dogs just to pay their rent, and let's not even talk about mortgage and the ridiculous prices on homes compared to the national state average. Yeah. We're talking about $400,000 for a single unit 3-bedroom home, $400,000 minimum, which demands that a husband and wife work and their kids come home to an empty house, and then one day they wake up and say, "Oh, what happened to my kid? He's doing speed as he goes to CV trying to get a 4.0 average so he can meet the parents' demand to move ahead." The reality is that they're not really going to the streets, grassroots, and finding out through conversation and discussion. You don't ask kids in a survey whether you're doing drugs and whether you drink alcohol once a week. They're going to tell you, "Oh, I did it once, but that's it." Man, this stuff happens when you work with them. And I work with youth. You work with youth.
Yes.
And you see the epidemic. You hear it.
At least they have to ask organizations like you and like us, okay? Instead of asking youngsters if they're doing it or not. If they will ask me, I will give them pretty picture how many people and how many percentage of Armenian girls, women are under the drugs at this point.
Absolutely. And of course, Armenians, we're always like, okay, it's not going to be me. Yeah. It's not going to be my home.
Yeah.
We'll miss
everybody but us.
But me, you know. But I'm sorry to say, man, the kids who are going to college getting the 3.5s and the 4.0s, man, eventually, you know what? If you're spiritually empty, you have low self-esteem, you feel like crap because you're always performing, and it's never enough for your high demanding parents, you know. You can, you know, and you live in this highly performance-based lifestyle. Pretty soon you need something to either,
yes, you do.
And the question is,